To something else completely. This is a story now about making a business out of your own life experience and perhaps also being in the right place at the right time. After struggling to find nice shoes in her size, Laura Schofield launched a footwear brand for tall women. She made a list of celebrities she'd love to see in her designs, and top of it, Caitlyn Jenner. This weekend, Laura met her at an event in Brighton, and here they are backstage trying on some of Laura's shoes.
I've got a smaller one as well. That works. I've got a smaller one as well.
Extremely, no, not at all. I have no idea how tough shoes are.
Oh my goodness, this is like so...
I feel like Cinderella.
Yes.
She feels like Cinderella. Laura joins me now. Laura, great weekend for you.
I know. Hello, Emma. Yeah, I feel like, she talked about it being a bit of a fairy tale, but it feels like a complete fairy tale for me, to use a bit of a cliche. Yeah, I launched last week, launched last Monday, 13th of Jan, and I didn't have a huge marketing budget. So to get a Kardashian on board has been pretty good going.
Why did you start the business? I said there that you were a bit frustrated, but it takes a bit more than that to get going, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm 6'1". I've got size 9.5 feet, which actually, to be honest, doesn't sound that big anymore to me now. I'm working for women who've got up to size 12 feet at the moment and looking to expand. But I just could never find shoes that I liked. I've certainly never been able to walk into a shop and buy a pair of shoes. I have to buy things online. They're never necessarily things that I would choose. And I think normally when you've got size 8 or 9 plus feet, it's normally about settling for whatever you can find, really, rather than finding shoes that you really love and enjoy the experience of shoe shopping. And so I wanted to bring that to the women that I've been blogging for as well. So I've been blogging for about the tall experience for a number of years. And I just knew, I had this inkling. I was like, I know that the high street's not doing it. I know that luxury stores aren't really doing it either. And I knew that they were missing this kind of massive group of women who were really struggling to look stylish because they just didn't have the right pair of shoes.
What's the best pair you've created so far that you couldn't have even dreamt of if you were having to settle before?
I love the Evangeline, actually. That was the first one that I designed. That was kind of the first thing I wanted, like a really beautiful metallic court shoe that I could wear to things like weddings and, being a wedding guest and wanting some really pretty shoes. And those were the ones that Caitlyn tried on first. But I've also got the Tilly boot as well, which is just a really lovely ankle boot that's really versatile. It's named after my daughter Matilda. And I've just never been able to find something like that in my size. I've always had to go very plain. And one of the things I looked at doing when I was creating the shoes is not just creating things that fit, but also things that flatter a long foot as well. So a lot of the time, if a store does do a larger size shoe, they often just put, a few more centimetres on the length of a shoe that looks great on a size 4 foot, but then doesn't look brilliant necessarily when you've got size 8 plus feet. So it's about finding those really kind of flattering cuts and using detail and paneling in a way that made the shoes look really beautiful as well.
Caitlyn Jenner, what's she like? Never met her.
Oh my goodness. Well, do you know what? Basically what happened, a friend of mine who I work with, because in my day job I work on a shopping channel, and a friend of mine was doing the sound for her show in Brighton, and he just said, pop along, I can't promise anything, but I might be able to get you backstage and it would be brilliant if you could get a pair of shoes to her. And I sort of thought that I'd be going along and I'd take a pair of shoes. And for me as a small business, even though it's potentially brilliant publicity, it's also quite a big outlay as well to just give someone a pair of shoes. Yeah. And I thought she might just go, oh yeah, thanks, put them over there. And she was so excited. I walked into the dressing room and she went, people have no idea how hard it is to find shoes that fit. And I'm not naive. I know Caitlyn obviously she can afford to have her own shoes made, and I know that she does. But for her to be able to buy almost off the peg, and for so many other women, it's a really big deal not being able to get shoes that fit. And I think you can sort of trivialise the matter and say, well, it is about fashion. But if you have got got a date to go to, or if you've got a job interview, or if you've got a special event last minute and you want to look and feel and perform your best, actually having the right pair of shoes can be quite important, rather than having to settle for, men's trainers or something very frumpy that you're wearing just because it's in that size. So I think you kind of can't underestimate how it makes a woman feel when she walks into a room wearing a pair of shoes that she really loves and that she's really proud of.
Annie's just got in touch while we're talking saying, "Hello Emma, I'm a size 9 and I cannot get shoes on the high street. M&S are missing a huge trick, only stocking up to a small size 8. Go your guest." So you've got some support there. I think it's funny, isn't it? It's a weird taboo having large feet as a woman, because you're made to feel like you should have small, dainty feet, aren't you?
Yeah, and I would trip over. I mean, it's so funny the amount of people that go, "Gosh, your feet are big, aren't they?" And I'm like, I'm 6'1".
What do you want me to stand on?
Yeah, I'm clumsy enough as it is, to be honest. My feet are so far away from my brain, it's quite difficult. The messages don't get down there. So if they were any smaller, then it definitely wouldn't work. Yeah, but I think actually it's interesting, because I've talked a lot in my blogging about the tall experience, and I think we talk a lot about body positivity online, and we talk about more of it in terms of weight and plus size, and actually, although, I love being tall, I constantly get comments, I constantly get asked, "Oh, how tall are you? And do you like being tall? And oh, look at the size of that," even sometimes, and comments about my feet. And I think we sort of need to realise that has a cumulative effect on people. And I've had 14-year-old girls who've been 6'4" that have been in touch with me in the past, and they've been upset about going to, about dating boys because they're all shorter than them. And actually, a lot of, when I've been talking about it, a lot of people have got in touch and said that some of their mental health issues they've attributed to bullying because they're tall and that sort of thing. So I think the body positivity movement online is incredible. It's making great waves, and I think that's a conversation that needs to be talked about a little bit more. It's that when you see someone on the street and you notice that they're tall, they probably know. You don't need to tell them.
I was just going to say, Laura, has it boosted business? She's got 10 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't have 10 million yet. I'm working on it, but yeah, it's been wonderful, and I've had so many orders come in. Bless my mum, she's had to come in, because I literally, it's just me. It's me in the spare room of my house, and this is just something Laura, I could never have imagined. My mum's downstairs looking after
packing them up. Thank you very much, Laura Schofield there, meeting with Caitlyn Jenner to help women with bigger feet get their shoes.
First for news
and more.